Let's kick off with a very simple question. When was the last time did you use a free website template and how did that go?
It took me a good chunk of time to delete all the files and organize for the actual stuff which I really needed for the website.
That brings us to the tech stack. We still see jQuery heavy templates floating around. Is that still a problem? And structure ties right into scalability. How should good templates support growth? Can templates really hurt our SEO?
Absolutely.
And customization is always a hot topic. How can templates make it easier? Hey there, and welcome to Coffee and Code with Themixly, the podcast where we talk about clean code, fast launches, and the real stuff developers deal with behind the screen. Hey there, I am Hardik and I am with Kunj, your host for conversations with developers, freelancers, and digital teams who are building smarter and not harder.
So let's grab a cup of coffee and deep dive into this episode.
Let's kick off with a very simple question. When was the last time did you use a free website template and how did that go?
Honestly, the project turned out to be a lot more messier than expected. The codebase had so many extra unwanted files which were never required for this project. And to clear out all those files and organize before I start the actual task, it took me a good chunk of time to delete all the files and organize for the actual stuff which I really needed for the website.
That sounds frustrating, but let's dig into the why. Why do templates include so much unnecessary stuff?
Most of the templates are made to impress the user while in demos. So they put lot of interactive stuff like sidebars, pricing table, carousel, collages, so many extra stuff, which is never required while we work on a real project. So while we download these templates, most of the time user just gets attracted towards the demo and downloads it. But in real, the developer needs to like delete almost half of the code just to get to the real part. So downloading such free demos are usually like buying a Swiss knife when you actually need a screwdriver.
Right. So when you start deleting things, the structure becomes even more important. So tell me, how does bad structure affect real world development?
So it is basically like a silent productivity killer. When you download a template which has so many lines of codes, it is very difficult to separate things. There will be so many inline CSS given, inline so many other values given to a particular sections, and removing stuff from that, there will be sub or nested divisions. Removing stuff from that is very difficult. And in some of the templates, we do not have a properly commented file. There will be no comments for specific components, so that is very difficult. And while we delete things out of it, it is not always possible that we delete the right thing. So we need to continuously delete and check. That actually kills productivity as well as the creativity.
And speaking about unsustainable, one of the biggest headaches in mobile, why do templates still struggle with responsiveness in 2025?
Because most of the websites are developed in a way keeping in mind that it will be open on a laptop or a computer screen. But in today's generation, when we see analytics and other data, most of the traffic for a website comes through a mobile phone. And in some of the templates, it is not predefined that how it will be open or how the user will react and what kind of user it will gain. So they do not have proper breakpoints, proper layout, and that's the reason, due to lack of breakpoints and a layout structure, it is sometimes seen that the user needs to zoom and find a button just to click on it, and the data which is put on the screen is not visible, so they need to keep continuously zooming on the things. So this is the reason why people still find difficult for a website to be responsive.
That brings us to the tech stack. We still see jQuery heavy templates floating around. Is that still a problem?
Absolutely. Modern web development relies on component based development. And as we see, jQuery based template is not that suitable. It is not sustainable for future. So merging all this component is not suitable for a sustainable future growth.
So even if the stack is outdated, maybe good documentation could really help. How much does documentation really matter?
It is really very critical. As we see, someone else has already coded this template and you are downloading this code. So you will need some time to understand this, but if you have a good document, it is very easy for you to understand. It will make this template into a usable product. So it is like having a manual while you are driving a car. So basically you will not need to go and find all the dependencies and how to customize it. Rather, you will have everything well noted down, and it is very useful when you are working as a freelancer or as a part of a team working on a very tight deadline.
And deadlines aside, SEO is always a concern. Can templates really hurt our SEO?
Absolutely. Most of the templates lack in minimum SEO structure which is required. The basic principles like meta title, description, compressed images, all of these are neglected. While we make a template or a website, it is very necessary to have proper tags, proper meta title, description, duplicate content should be avoided. There should be a proper hierarchy of headings used in it, because all these things matter for search engine visibility. No matter how much good the website looks, but what if there will be no user to see it, right? So for this, it is very important to have a structured SEO based template, which will be really helpful for search engine as well, and a proper user experience will also be driven up after this.
Now that's a very good point. But let's say someone just wants to customize. So how hard can it be?
It will be very hard because these templates are like piece of puzzles, but they are glued to each other. The styles are very hard coded and the logic is deep down buried somewhere else. So while you try to customize it and fix one thing, you rather go and destroy other 5 things. So this is very difficult. For developers, the code should be fixable and not fragile. They should not be like finding things and wasting time just to fix one thing. So if all the style files and other logic files are separated, it would be much easier to customize rather than putting all the things into one file.
And before we wrap up the problem side of things, let's touch upon licensing. Should developers really worry about it?
Definitely, it is a point of concern. As in many templates, we see there are a lot of issues like you download it for free, but there will be a lot of third-party assets used in it. If you use this in a project or in a client in your personal project or in any client's project, there is a chance that you might face a legal issue further. So there is always a chance that you need to go and check and read the terms, because there will be something like non-commercial use clause, something like that, and avoid downloading templates which has a lot of extra bundles to integrate and extra bundles of assets you need to download separately. So if we try and avoid this, it is good, but there are always a chance. It's not about ethics, but it's like a sort of reputation you need to build.
Alright, enough about the problems. Let's flip the script. What do developers actually want in a template? Let's start with the basics. What makes code clean?
While we code, it is essential to make components reusable, or rather we can say use components while we code. So basically it makes easy to scale up. Rather than copy and pasting things in across pages to make a file, making a component is very easy. You just need to import rather than writing the whole code again or just copy pasting things. So if we make components, it will be easy. Talking about the clean code, it will be very properly named. All the sections or division will be named properly, and all the concerns of the code will be put aside. It will be readable, maintainable, and easy to understand and as well as to use. And this will also reduce bugs. As one component is properly coded, it will be sure that it doesn't has any bug, and that will be easy. If there any bug arises, it will be easy to figure out or troubleshoot the bug.
And structure ties right into scalability. How should good template support growth?
Scalable template should have a clear folder hierarchy. All the components, pages, and assets should be in a predictable format. Whether you are working on a portfolio website or a SaaS dashboard, coding should be easy, right? While you need to add in simple integration or a page, it shouldn't be tough. It should be very easy to add. It's not about the size, it's about future-proofing your code.
Now let's talk about tools. Why frameworks like React and Tailwind are very essential today.
So this tech stack is developed using today's workflow, which is suitable for today's workflow, as I say. React is specifically made for component-based coding, so it promotes reusability of code. Coming to Tailwind, it is a utility-first styling. So it basically helps to cut off all that custom CSS that we need to write again and again to make it look more better. And then comes to the next is it helps to add routing performance and everything, and also it adds on to the SEO performance. So together all of these three are like an power packed combo for developers, which will help them to code cleaner and faster while they are working on a tight deadline without any headache.
We already touched upon the mobile issues earlier. So, what does it look like when a template is truly responsive by default?
So, coming to the mobile responsive part, these templates should be designed keeping in mind the mobile first approach. That means that all the components should be adaptive, being it a phone, tablet, or a desktop. The component should adapt every screen accordingly, making it a good user experience first of all. And your website will also look professional and equal in all the devices.
And customization is always a hot topic. How can templates make it easier?
By using utility classes, components, and clear code, developers will be able to easily change font colors, font style, etc., rather than digging into thousands and hundreds of lines of codes just to change a simple thing. Also, the theme should include customization or theme configuration files to make their work easy. So, the end goal will be for developers to make it very easily and make the theme their own rather than fighting for it.
Speed matters for both developers as well as users. So, how does a good template deliver on that?
Rightfully, speed matters in both the ways. Firstly, how long it takes to develop the website. Secondly, how fast it loads in front of a user. So, a good template will be lightweight and will be optimized according to give a better performance. So, if it works fast and saves your working hours, it is doing its job.
And looping back to documentation, what should good documentation actually include?
A good document should include installation step, component usage, customization details, and examples if needed. All of this align properly with the code base given. And a good document should basically feel like a guided tour rather than a scavenger hunt, which will help to onboard new developers easily.
Last but not the least, SEO. How can templates support it out of the box?
So, template should consist of proper heading tags, alter attributes or alter tags which are required. Proper HTML should be inculcated into it. And talking about that, it should also have proper metadata, fast loading assets, and proper URL structure. Because SEO is not just a marketing concern, it it overall affects the visibility and credibility of the website.
That's exactly the mindset we have used to craft every template on Themixly. It's not just about how a site looks, but how fast you can build it, scale it, and make it your own.
Alright, so this is a wrap for first episode of Coffee and Code with Themixly, where we have broke down why most of the templates don't make it.
And more importantly, we have explored what developers like you actually need in 2025: clean, modular code, performance first builds, and customization that doesn't make you want flip the desk. That's exactly the thinking we have baked into Themixly.
If you are someone who has spent hours in cleaning the mess of a template someone else has created, trust us, we have been there. And this is what all this podcast is about.
Got thoughts on today's episode or a template horror story you want us to feature? DM us on X or comment it wherever you are listening. We are here for it.
And hey, if you liked this episode, subscribe the channel and share it with a developer friend who is still struggling with the nightmares.
Next week, we are diving deep into the real cost of free templates, how they sneakily slow down your project. You won't want to miss it.
Till then, build smart, build right, and let Themixly handle the boring part. Catch you in the next one.